lacking equality and justice for the disabled within the legal system. My name is Daniel Borsati. I am not an attorney. For all purposes, I hope this video will find its way into every household throughout America and beyond. I was physically and mentally disabled from 2001 into 2008 due to a very serious automobile accident. During this time, a couple people whom I thought were my trusted friends were acting as my conservator payees, Scott and Robin Niner from Santa Clarita, California. While I was under their confidence, they ended up absconding hundreds of thousands of dollars from me through a shady deal and with the aid of some of their other family members. Not having enough funds to hire an attorney, being disabled, I was forced to represent myself propria persona, or proper self-representation. I filed the lawsuit, Borsati v. Niner, for breach of fiduciary duty, fraud, breach of oral and written contract, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The justices who presided over the case, Margaret L. Oldendorf, expressed that she would hold me to the same standard as an attorney, and she would give me the same respect. The complete opposite occurred. The justices not only disregarded my rights, she and some of her court clerks from F46 and others at the Chatsworth, California courthouse deliberately impeded my due process of equity. The justices, in addition, denied me all 5 forms of discovery, which are the basics of all courtroom cases, being requests for admissions, requests for production, form and special interrogatories, subpoena power, and depositions of witnesses and one of the defendants, which all litigants should have rights to proceed without obstructions in their fight for justice. Furthermore, the judge also made statements that she would interpret for me after I requested help for auxiliary aid, legal representation, and interpreter because of the severity of my injuries for not understanding legal jargon, which was and still is a foreign language to me. Due to my cognitive inability, I was not very coherent towards all of the proceedings. Nevertheless, she also denied me my disability rights. This justice has completely and undoubtedly obstructed every attempt I made for a fair, unbiased litigation. After 2 years of battling my case, I realized my attempts were being disregarded, and I was not able to continue on my own. It was then I was fortunate, so I thought, to secure an attorney on contingency for the trial only. This attorney, Richard T. Miller from Wasserman & Miller from Van Nuys, California, turned out to be so unethical as the defense attorneys and judge in this case. Richard Miller ended up completely disregarding everything I had worked so hard to secure. And he disregarded our contingency agreement, and he continues to badger me for thousands of dollars even after he quit on me. It seemed that the attorney was working against my case rather than for me, which happens all too much against people with disabilities. There seems to be a complete disregard for people with disabilities when in courtroom struggles for justice, and how the disabled are taken advantage of by so many entities and other lay people such as the Niners from Santa Clarita, California. I am not saying that all lawyers, judges, and lay people are bad. However, for those who are, and for the acts that they put upon others, someone needs to stand up and speak out against these types of tyranny. I filed an appeal months ago, and I have heard nothing from them since. I can only wonder if the same tyranny will continue from within the appeals court as well. This is America, where a person of any race, creed, origin, or ethnic race should have the fair opportunity for his or her day in court, and with all the same luxuries to afford, regardless of their financial status, physical or mental ability. There seems to be a complete disregard for those who have little choice but to represent themselves. In court, among judges and attorneys, there is a cliché. He who represents themselves has a fool for a client. However, what about those people who cannot afford an attorney? Are they supposed to allow the perpetrators to get away with their unethical acts? Or do all Americans have the basic rights as all attorneys? The answer to the last one is unequivocally no. Who holds these judges, attorneys, and courthouse staff to their ethics, codes, rules, and regulations while they are obstructing others' due process? Where are the checks and balances when people who represent themselves don't get a fair trial because of the treatments from such entities? I am asking for help from our local and federal government. I would like to get help all the way from the top to Obama, but I'm not sure that he has time for just one disabled patron. I would like him or the government to look into this case, Borsari versus Niner, so that the truth will finally receive justice. When one disabled person's rights are violated, then all uneducated, disabled, and uninformed patrons' rights are being violated. The outcome of the trial proved my assertions correct. I am also asking for the public to send me your stories and advice as to what to do in this case, so I can help other disabled and uninformed patrons for their fight for justice. Maybe united we can make a difference so other disabled patrons will not have to go through the same pains of courtroom injustices, and we can begin to heal the scars that are left with so many people who have tried to receive justice and were not treated fairly. All people have rights. This is the meaning of constitutional rights. To scorn and abuse people's rights destroys the natural morals and ethics of life and the courtrooms. My name is Daniel Borsari. Please respond to me at DisabledJustice@yahoo.com or write to P.O. Box 800-657 Santa Clarita, California 91380. I cordially await your responses, and thank you for listening.